Today's reading is really specific and you'll know pretty much immediately if it's for you. So, today I'm talking to somebody who is currently in a decent phase of life. It's not bad, it's not incredible, it's fine. But 2 cycles ago, so not the last phase you're in, but the phase before was horrific. Could also be 3 phases. It's that there's some distinct chunk of time or life that has passed that is different to the others. Say 2 cycles ago, you were in a really bad relationship. You got yourself out of that relationship, and that was one phase. And then maybe you moved cities, and that's the phase you're in now. Or you quit a really bad job, started a new job, quit that job, started another job, and now that's where you are. So there's some distinct separation from where you are now and the really, really bad thing that happened. It could also be 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 6 years ago. But it's separated by a very distinct chunk that happened in between it. So now that you're no longer in that reality, you're obviously no longer in flight mode. But what today's reading is about is how that difficult period still lingers in your body, in your system, how it affects you today, and some reassurance and guidance around how to clear that out. So the way I'm seeing it is I'm seeing an overgrown bush, a plant that is thriving, and I'm thinking about hair a lot as well, like hair that has grown out and the hair is really, really long and it's all healthy, but it's just too much. So it's overgrown and there's a sense that you're clinging on to your growth, but the growth from the previous cycle, this is quite niche, but there's a sense that, if the time was hair and that hair is really long, you're still holding on to this healthy hair from the previous cycle, but it's actually just getting in the way because what's growing at the root is even healthier and it's completely different. It's distinct from the other healthy hair. So it's like you're holding on to that in-between phase where you got yourself out of this painful or difficult situation as a way to feel like you're securely buffering yourself from feeling the really bad phase. And what I'm seeing is that if you were to just pare it back and cut away all of that excess, which is the phase you were in prior to now, whatever that in-between phase was, it still held lingering remnants of the trauma or the immediate distress of that horrific phase you were in prior. And it's affecting you in that I sense there's a fear to feel love. There's a fear of feeling good where you are because you're not secure that you've definitely gotten yourself out of the bad period. There's some fear in you that you haven't wholeheartedly, practically instilled a new life. So there's a sense that you're feeling like it might be still haunting you, or it's chasing after you, it's over your shoulders. And so there's this feeling that, well, if I could just keep on growing and I grow my hair all the way out, then I'll look at cutting some of it back. Only when I'm 5 cycles down the line will I consider fully looking at the pain that was, or fully admitting to myself that I have changed. And so this is where we get to the crux of the message. Spirit wants you to see that you have changed, and you have changed irrevocably. It can't be undone. And whatever you went through, it has passed. And the fact that you've gone through a whole cycle to get to where you are now means that you are literally not the same person. It's kind of like how they say every 7 years we're a whole new human because our cell turnover, we shed our skin and everything. It feels like you've done a full cell turnover. And you would know this because whatever you went through was so intense that you almost obliterated yourself and put everything back together again, to where you do know that you're a different person, but the fear that lingers is it's creating itself again and again every day, and you're making it up in your mind. It's like a holograph. It's like you're envisioning this fear of what happened in the past, and so you're subtly creating it, but it's like steam. It's not really there. It's not in your system or your foundation. You've done a full cycle of cellular turnover. So the practical advice here that Spirit has for you is that if you could write down everything that was distinct about you in the previous cycle, that is the one that was better than the terrible one, but maybe worse than the one you're in now, or it was the intermediary cycle. Write down everything that changed about you there, everything that you learnt there, who you became, what was difficult about it, what lingered from the really bad catastrophic phase. Say, okay, just to make this really clear, so catastrophe phase was phase A, then the intermediary phase was phase B, and then where you are now is C. You can add, if you have more of them, more cycles, maybe more locations, more relationships, more jobs. However you distinguish the difference between a phase or a cycle. So you're going to write down everything about phase B. Everything bad, everything good, everything you discovered about yourself. And then you're going to write how that differs from C, which is where you are now. And then you're going to write all about C, what you've learnt now. What is the most recent growth? What are the qualities or traits of the roots of your hair that are growing out in this past week? Because it feels like you're a person who shifts, shape shifts and changes so quickly that you're fully different. And you need to acknowledge that with your own eyes. And so this writing exercise will help you to realize that there's a whole leap between phases and you're a completely different person now. And that's all you really need. It will help you let go of whatever's just still clinging, or that heaviness that's holding on to you from the past. And I keep seeing it as having too much hair. And even though the hair is healthy, it's going to free you to cut it off. So that's the end of today's message. If it resonates, please like, subscribe. And if you feel called to order a one-to-one reading, all the details are in the description below. I'll see you in the next one, and be brave.